to the place of wisdom talks, meditation, and we want your spiritual momentum to just go sky high. And today I'm so fortunate that I've got Siddart Rajsekar coming on, and we're going to be talking about spirituality and business. And guess what? He's already here, and I'm really looking forward to getting him on right now. First person on. So I'm just going to wait for him to come on. Wow, you're here. Thank you so much today. And you know, one thing, everybody, he's a busy guy, so him coming on is an absolute, for me, it's an absolute honor. And before we go further, I'm going to also invite him into Facebook. There he is. So everyone can see. So for those that don't know who Siddart is, right? Number one, he is a musician, a very talented musician, and he's turned into a lifestyle entrepreneur and international speaker. He calls himself the digital geek, which I find quite cool. Myself, I have a technical background, so I love that digital geek part. And he's trained over 50,000 professionals. I think over 50,000 professionals, 700 brands you've been worked with, over 4 countries, and some of those being IBM, BNI, AXA, and many more that we could talk about. You're also one of the leading people in India, and quite sought after in the info marketing industry, if I'm correct. I'm seeing your newspapers, etc. When I was looking up for you, you don't have to go far. Just put your name in and you come up. And another thing that I thought was really nice is that you've worked with some amazing people. So like Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, Jack Cranfield, and many more in that way. So you're a person I've seen that works with big brands. You work with amazing people, and your mission is to build an army of digital leaders. So I couldn't ask for anyone better to come on today and speak about this. So welcome today. And we're going to be talking about spirituality and business, because these are two things that are close to both our hearts. And this is something that has been for you, it's been your backbone, spirituality, that's helped you, right? If I'm correct?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much for inviting me. I think this is something which very close to my heart, and I think we can have a great conversation around this, and for the audience here. Yeah.
So one thing I want to say to everybody, this is interactive, and we want your questions. Okay, in your lives, you may be going through, you might have some spiritual questions, you might have some business questions. Hey, this is one-stop shop today. Everything can be answered. We have our SME, our subject matter expert, who's on here right now. So the first thing, I'll start off, and I wanted to just find out a bit more about yourself, if that's okay. So can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Like where do you come from? I know it's in India, and how you started, first of all, this spiritual journey, because it seems to be quite ingrained in your life.
Yes. I come from a very typical South Indian, Tambram, Iyer, Tair Sadam family, brought up in South India, brought up in Bangalore, and grew up in a joint family. My grandfather comes from a large family of 7 brothers and 5 sisters, like a cricket team with substitutes. It's like a huge family, and grew up in that environment right through my childhood days, up to my 7th standard. Then it became a nuclear family, and during that time, during my initial days, from the age of from very younger days, like from the age of 4 all the way till 10, I remember dad was an alcoholic. My dad was an alcoholic, and he was. I could see the Jekyll and Hyde side, So he would be such a wonderful person, and then he would completely change once the drink gets into him. And it came to a point where there was a lot of fear, there was a lot of insecurity in the family, and my mom went to an astrologer at that point to find out, is this ever going to end? Is there an end to this? He's such a wonderful man, but he is not able to control himself when it comes to this habit. So this astrologer happened to be, he happened to be a very spiritually oriented person, and he gave us the initial direction on what to do. So he asked my mom to give my dad Tulsi water every day, and without his knowledge, she was giving it to him every single day. And then he invited us for some programs. We were connected to the the Hare Krishna Hill Temple in Bangalore during my childhood days,
Oh.
and we used to go there. I remember as a child on Sundays I used to go attend the feast program, and we started to get that initial taste of the philosophy side of understanding who am I, what is the soul, and all those concepts. This was back in the year 1993,
Mm.
94, I still remember very clearly. And within 3 years, my dad completely gave up. I could see a huge transformation in his, um, like the before and after story of from an alcoholic to completely cleaning up and getting, focused on spiritual practice, and that really inspired me a lot. And as a child, I've seen him both the sides, and I think that was the starting point to the spirituality. So during that phase, a little bit later, when I was in my 12, 13 years old, I started to do Gita, classes.
Yeah.
Was doing the Bhakti Riksha for kids classes. I used to lead the small groups of kids. We used to read together Krishna book, all that stuff, and that was a great foundation. But what ended up happening was when I went into college, how colleges got out of, I was really not practicing anything, got into all kinds of habits, got into all kinds of the bad association. Not I would not want to call the word bad, but it's just like things that really made me go through and understand the other side of the world. And then in 2000 and actually 2000 2005 2006, when I realized the value and importance of the foundation that I had got when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. So that entire 3, 4 years where I was completely, enjoying life and partying like anybody else, came back. I realized the true the value of the foundation that my parents had given me, and then I took spirituality even more seriously, and that was the journey. And thanks to my guru, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami, what I am today is because of his love, care, compassion, inspiration on the spiritual journey. So that's been like the short
Wow.
story.
That's wow. So you've had a very, when people say sometimes, oh, to be successful, you need to have all the things when you're young. You got to have this, you got to have that. You've had a very, should we say, mixed upbringing in terms of course, a good upbringing, but it's been mixed, and so it shows you're just actually a product of showing that actually you can be whoever you want to be. It don't let your past drag you into the future. But it's so nice you talked about spirituality and you talked about this spiritual teacher. And yes, even myself, I'm a disciple. Those that don't know of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. So it's really nice to be speaking to you as someone that I'm very inspired by and someone I feel close by through the spiritual teacher. So on this basis, you started with the spirituality. You then went into music. Music seems to be very, very key in your life. You and your wife, by the way, you have a lovely wife. You have 2 children, and music has been something. So how did the music side start with you? Was that also from a young age?
Yeah, it was from a young age. From the age of 10, I was playing keyboards.
Yeah.
My brother is a guitarist. My dad and mom both play
Great.
guitars. So
I like him
I'm one.
already. I like him already.
Yes. So dad was brought up in a very typical convent environment. Even I was brought up in a convent school, so I used to sing in the school choir also for many years, for 6 years. I was a soprano, went into descant, then tenor. So I've been through the entire journey of singing in the church and the chapel, and that was
Oh
I
wow.
really I love that. Yeah. So that was there, and since I studied in school, I was also part of the rock band in school, and we used to everything from the Guns N' Roses to Pink Floyd and all
Oh
the stuff. We
yes.
used to do that. Yes, back in the day. So dad was a big inspiration for me because he used to play the guitar as well. He was a rhythm guitarist. Mom also used to play rhythm guitar. My brother used to play a little bit of lead, and I was the odd man out. I was the keyboardist. So we used to jam as a family together and play the old songs, pop music. We had the pop what do you say, the songs book, and I used to play the chords. And then when spirituality came in, we were able to use all of that for our spiritual music. I used to play the harmonium, brother and I played the percussion, the mridanga, and then we started to use all of that for both, and we would do both. It's not like spirituality means we would only do that.
Hmm.
We would have the best of the both worlds, and we understood the taste of uh, the spiritual side of music. So that's how the music journey started. And in 2001, I actually flunked my 12th grade. I was really bad in
Wow.
school, college. I was an outstanding student. I was standing outside class most of the time, and crazy. I had like 11% attendance in my college days, and
Wow.
I could not sit in boring classrooms. So anyway, failed my 12th. It was a very embarrassing situation. I scored 28% in my maths board exams. And I still remember when I would see that integration symbol in calculus, like my brain would just switch off. I could really never take the calculus side of the game. And anyway, that was the pivoting point of my life back then, where most of my friends were doing the engineering, the degrees, they're going through that. And I had to find something. What can I do? And I came to Chennai and did a course, a diploma in sound engineering. So I did a 1 year course, and I learned about music production, recording music, and went through that journey. And I scored 92% in that course. And I've been teaching since the age of 19. So that college where I studied, they knew I was good at what, because I really loved what I was doing. They recruited me back to become an audio engineering supervisor and studio supervisor and lecturer. So I used to teach how to make music on these different softwares and gear. And many of the people are older than me, like 30 years, 40 years. And I was a 19-year-old kid teaching people how to make music. So that was the phase on how I got into the music industry and spent a good 3 years in that space, and transitioned into making ringtones for mobile phones. If you remember the polyphonic ringtone days,
Yes.
I was the guy
Yes.
making the MIDI ringtones. And
Oh, Nokia.
it's,
I still remember the Nokia one. It went something like
yeah,
something. Anyway, it sounds, I can't
yeah,
remember. But it was, yeah. I see what you mean.
that
Those.
phase. Yeah, I used to
So
make ringtones for sitting in Dubai. I was working in Dubai Internet City back then. I used to make ringtones and music for games. So I used to listen to the games. They would give the concept, and I had to
fantastic.
compose something for that. And it was that was a journey. Yeah.
There,
So yeah, music
there's
was
so regard to music, and you just talked about education as well. I think it was your grandfather who was very pivotal when it came to, because from a young age he imbibed a quote in you that you've lived
yes.
till now, right? Could you share that quote to
I would
everybody?
love to share that. It's a Mark Twain quote. He says, "Never let schooling interfere with your education. Always keep learning." That I have to thank Grandpa, because if Grandpa had told me, education is the most important thing in the world, I wouldn't be where I am today. Probably, I'd have gone into some depression or something when I failed my 12th.
Yeah.
But anyway, I didn't take it so seriously, and even dad, mom, they were not so hard on scoring great big marks and stuff. They said just do what you love, and that openness of the parenting that they had, the experience that I had with them as parents. I mean, that's what has helped me. That openness and giving that space to explore, that really helped a lot.
That is so amazing to hear. Don't let the Mark Twain, everybody. Just remember, this is something, because this was pivotal for yourself and how you went forward, like you said, and how it's helped you in your life. So coming from the music side, you had the spiritual side, you've got the music side. Now you're dovetailing some of that music into, should we say, the spiritual side. Like, you've got some amazing tracks out there. If anybody wants to hear them, number one, you can hear one on my stories, that when I was doing this, I just looked for Shabda Hari, right? And we'll spell it, and we'll do it. We're going to come on to that spiritual side as well a bit later. So if I can go into, the music side, you've dovetailed. Now, this aspect of dovetailing, even myself, I remember I used to be in a rock band. At school, we won like Battle of the Bands. It was something
Nice.
great. I used to love that. But there's something about when I did what we call mantra meditation in kirtan, and when I utilized those into music mantra meditation, I felt a difference. It was like even if I won the best award for as a team in the material sense, it still would not compare to
Yes.
this. So just on that, how have you felt transitioning into that type of spiritual aspect of music? And because you've got some amazing tracks, and also, if you don't mind, some of your albums you released, if you could talk about some of those as well.
Yeah, I can share that. So, for me, the whole experience of using, see, music it's a gift. It's like it is divine by nature in any sense, if you say it. And when we're able to really connect it back to the sound vibration of connecting back with the holy names of the Lord, it has a different effect on us, and it's so purifying. So I have to thank one of the people that I really admired the most in this space is His Grace Indra Prabhu.
Oh yes.
Uh, so he's one of those people who had a huge influence on me when it comes to the spiritual side of music. So I used to listen to a lot of his kirtan. I would listen to a lot of his songs. Like I would sleep with his music going on like for the whole night for
Yeah.
years together. And that is like the just got into the whole DNA of that entire music side. Then because I come from the Western music background, and I was a DJ as well. I used to play electronic music and all that stuff.
Oh.
So I want to like fuse, I want to fuse both these worlds and create something which is very palatable for the Western world that they can understand, and yet bring out that mood of of surrender, mood of connection, and things like that. So in 2009, I launched the album for the first time, which was Illuminize. It is called Illuminize.
Nice.
And my wife is a singer too. She was an Indian Idol finalist in 2006. And after marriage, we sat at home and we recorded this 12-song album. And we took all these ancient Vedic texts, like Jagannatha Shikam. We took some of these Bengali texts of the Guru, prayers to the Guru, and we made all of that into a modern sound. And I have to even thank some of the other inspiration for me was Krishna Premadas, some of these older, the previous generation composers, the Western composers in the spiritual space. Really, they played a huge impact in my music, overall. So besides the typical, Western pop culture, but I think the spiritual culture music also had a huge impact along with Indra Prabhu. So it's a mix of both. When we do kirtan at home, it's like very core. I like to go back to the core Indra kirtan style. But when it comes to making music, I have my keyboard here and stuff. I like to do a little bit more on the Western, more lounge and that space. Yes.
You got, so for me as well, Indra Prabhu was pivotal
Yes.
in this for me as well. It's amazing. And when I listen to your music, one thing I love about it is the way you fuse the East and the West. And like for example, that track, the one I used on the story is Goran Nitai. Just it's just the way you just put the Indian flavor but with the Western beats really was. So that's the type of style I love. So it's nice that I found somebody else that loves the traditional Indra Prabhu style but also likes this type of East meets West fusion. So you nailed that. It's check it out, guys. You gotta check it out. Illuminize. So illuminate your life by listening to Illuminize, right? So on this aspect of music, we've gone through spirituality, music, and by the way, everybody, we're going to be going through the success formula later on, because one thing that I want everyone to realize is who you're seeing in front of you. He said he was an outstanding student. He used to be outside the classroom. I love that. He also said he's a college dropout. He said, right? So, but I tell you, he's such a success in what he's doing right now, and he's inspiring a lot of people. And he's going to be sharing with us his success formula of how we can actually implement this. So spirituality and business, the two don't have to be so entwined separately. This is how we can fuse the two and make it both materially you can be successful and also spiritual successful. So we're going to be sharing, well, I'm not, he's going to be sharing the spiritual success formula to him. So please stay towards the end and we'll be going through that. So can I now come on to your business side?
Yes,
If that's okay. So if anybody that wants to know a bit about what we're going to be talking about now, one thing I would say is we're going to talk about his website. We'll be talking about some ways you can contact. But just about business, how did you, because you used to work for a firm and then suddenly things change. How, if you don't mind explaining to the audience here, what happened there? It's okay.
Yeah, it was year 2011 actually. So I was doing well in the corporate world. Like I came from the creative space, then I started to manage teams, and we were making ringtones and doing a lot of creative work in the mobile industry. And 2011, there was a dip in the industry, and even though I was a good employee, but I got the pink slip. The boss said, this division
Yeah.
does not exist. I'm so sorry, you got to leave. And that was one of the tough moments because my wife Vanita was pregnant. She was 3 months pregnant. I just lost my job, and we had a lot of financial issues even in the family. And like I had 500 rupees in my bank account, and the only hope that I had was I had to pawn our gold jewelry, our marriage gold jewelry, to really start something from the scratch. Because I did not have a graduate, I'm not a degree holder. I just worked my way up just purely by doing what I love. And I decided at that moment, okay, let me not get back into the workforce. Let me start something of my own. And so I had like 10 lakh rupee gold loan, 5 lakh rupees. I went and bought online courses, and I started to got into this urge of like self-learning. And because I had launched the album in 2009, there was some success. I knew that the internet was growing. So this was 2011. It was like 9 years ago. So I went into this whole 6 month of intense learning about strategies, marketing principles, funnels, traffic generation, selling online products. And by the end of that 6 months, I set up my own little digital agency along with my business partner, and she's also my cousin. And we set this up. It was like a small, like social media agency with only 3 4 of us, and that's how it began. And there was some cash flow coming in. I learned about WordPress. I started building websites. I started to build funnels, and I got my hands and feet wet in all the different technology aspects of the game. And slowly but surely, like within 2 3 years, we started to get much bigger projects. uh, when I say big projects, like we started to work with companies like Success Resources. They do one of the biggest events in the world. So we were promoting Tony Robbins, his event in London that happens, the Unleash the Power Within event that happens. Around 12,000 people attend that event. So we did the lead generation for that event as an agency. I was driving that campaign, building their pages, running Facebook ads, generating leads.
Fantastic.
And then so did a lot of campaigns for these big names for at least 2 3 years. And then I realized like my passion has always been teaching. So right from my 19-year-old sound engineering days, so I started to do more workshops. Like I did social media workshops. I used to travel from one city to the other and train entrepreneurs, like groups of 20 30 people, and I would give them a social media strategy, how they can actually grow their business. And I did that for a good 4 to 5 years all over India, Middle East. I used to come to Dubai, even in the US. I did a few workshops over there. And so that went on for a good 6 years. And the agency business, it has its ups and downs. Like it's a services based business. Even though I wanted to be my own boss, I ended up having 35 bosses, all my
Yeah.
clients. So it was a different experience, but it really taught me a lot of lessons in terms of people management, operations, the finance side, managing money, profitability, and all these other things that as an employee I was not even thinking about. And that's how I got into that space of business. And there's one event that actually made a huge difference to me in the business side. It's an event called the Millionaire Mind Intensive. It is by T. Harv Eker. And it was a 3 day intensive program where I really understood the principles of money. And I understood that money is just a form of energy, and it's how you use it that matters. When many of us, we have these negative beliefs about money, that money, if you have too much money, it's bad. Money is the root of all evil, and all that side of the programming, which I had to reprogram myself to understand how it is. I mean, what is required to become successful as a business owner. So that event made a huge difference. Then I went to a lot of training programs. I attended seminars after seminars, a huge uh, investment done in personal development. Besides the spiritual development that is on one side, but the personal development is investing in big programs. In fact, I invested in one program. It was a 5 day program on how to be a leader and how to present and speak from the stage. And it was a very intensive program. That one program itself was over $10,000, and I
Wow.
I was not having much money, and I thought, okay, let me just do it. And thanks to the support I got from family and stuff, and I took some big risks like that, where the focus was on learning and how I can upgrade my skills on these areas. So all of those have played a big role in whatever's happened in the last 24 months. So when I just connect the dots, everything leading to the next. Again, thanks to the grace of our guru, and thanks to all the other mentors who came at different stages, who taught different concepts and tools. I mean, that's what has really helped me on this journey. And it just continues; it never ends. Yes.
There's one thing I'm seeing. Ajay Bansal, he's right. He's learning from you. Actually, he says I'm learning from Sids. And
Thank
then
you.
there's also binary pianist. She's
Mm,
saying he's saying hey Sids. So we're getting some of your, should we say, mentees. We're getting some of your people that you're teaching. But there's something which I found extraordinary in your journey is number one, you started from scratch. You did everything yourself. It's not like, hey, here is a lovely little loan, beta, son. You've done everything yourself, which is really nice. But you've had the support of people around you, your family,
yes.
etc., and making
Mm,
this happen. And like Pooja is saying, this story is very inspiring. Yes, Pooja, I find it so inspiring too. And there's this thing you mentioned about you took risks.
mm.
Now, would you class yourself as a risk averse person or actually not? Just wanted to check that with yourself first before I move
Yeah.
forward.
When I was in Dubai, I'd read this book, and in that book, there was a statement that went deep inside my head. It said, "Risk over time equals reward," uh, and sometimes it could also go the other way. So, of course, I'm not like a blind risk taker. I like to calculate. There's some calculation there. There's also that confidence. You need to have the confidence. It's not just about going in there and going like in the dark, but at least
Yeah.
having some perspective. So I have to thank mentors, because there have been a lot of mentors on this journey. When I would look at their journey, and I decided, let me model them and let me like follow that what they're doing. That's played a big role. So I would not say it is. I mean, it was very risky from the financial side. Like taking that gold loan and then going for that $10,000 event, and all these were like big decisions. But I think those were the decisions that actually change that. Those decisions actually change things, because your skin is in the game now. I have to make it happen. So
Yes,
otherwise, people
that's
are
true.
comfortable. Yes.
No, that's a really good point. So it's like you're investing in yourself. You're taking forward. So from this point, one thing that a lot of people do is, okay, they'll start doing their business as they
Mm.
want, but you took it to another level. See, we start a business and we'll do one-on-one or we'll do one-to-many. So what I mean by one-on-one, say you're a coach, everyone. You'll
Yeah.
do you'll set up a business. You've got a website, and you'll be okay. I'm happy to give you a service as a service-based thing of a
Mm.
one-to-one coaching. Or if you're even more, should we say, out there and brand aware and established, you'll do one-to-many. So you'll do group sessions, but you took it to another level, which is not, you started, you did one two, but then you've gone further. I just can you, like, because right now for those that are on here, and I can see we got some of your chapters probably coming on, chapters in India, so he has groups of individuals where he's helping them to become successful. So this is where his spiritual roots are coming in as well. He is genuinely caring for making them succeed, and this is what I really like. So on this basis, what is it that strived you to go from okay, one-to-one's there, because money, of course, it drives some, but there's something more than this. This is some belief you have in yourself, to one-to-many, and then you go to doing these chapter programs.
Mm.
So what is your core belief that you have, that you'd like to share with everyone, that makes
Yeah.
you have that determination?
It's a very powerful question, because because if the core is not strong, you won't be able to push through the obstacles that are going to come. And for me, the right from the beginning, again, thanks to the spiritual upbringing, is the core is to promote the golden age, because the golden age is uh, okay. It may seem a little bit over the head right now, but let me explain. See, right now we're living in a world which is going through like a huge transition, and I think it is very very important. And now you're seeing a lot of people getting back to their roots, understanding their own purpose of life, and why are they here, and why they're doing what they're doing. All these questions are beginning to come up in society by large. So I had this idea planted by my spiritual master, even at a very young age, that we are not human. We are not like human beings in a spiritual journey. We are spiritual beings in a human journey, and this journey
Yes.
is going to continue. And we need to do all the things possible. So we live a spiritually grounded life, we can really do something that can uplift, the society, and get them connected back to our creator, in whatever belief that you have. And definitely in our case, it's, we know Krishna is the supreme personality, and whatever name, he has thousands of names that you can call him. So promoting the golden age, right now we're going to be seeing a golden age. People are going to get more aware. The planet is going to go through that reformation where everyone is going to realize that they have to, if they don't have a spiritual roots, they're going to be just washed away. I mean, on what is it going to stand? So that is the core. And then when I bring it down to business, like why I'm doing business is, yes, money is important. It is not something which we should neglect. In fact, one of my other mentors, he says, money can solve a lot of problems that not having money brings about. Yes,
Yeah, that's good. I like
that's
that.
really good. It went so, even
Yeah.
for giving charity, we have to give money. We have to, if you're a family member, we need money to take care of the family. And in spite of that, like I was looking at, even from I was in some turmoil in between because I come from a spiritual background, and I was thinking, if I'm really aspiring for money, is it like over endeavoring? Is it like, am I just going to go overboard and lose my spiritual side and things like that? Then I thought, how can I amalgamate both these things in a way by which, what I'm doing is true to who I am, and where it has nothing to affect my spiritual life. So I adopted the concept of minimalism. So minimalism is like, I have very less things for myself. I really don't need too many things, because usually the materialism mindset is to hoard things and to really accumulate things and think
Yeah.
that everything is mine.
Yeah.
So thanks to the spiritual, upbringing and the background, now the ambition is to make more money, to create more success stories, or to give more in charity. Like I've been contributing, to many charities
Yeah.
with what I'm making, and it's such a good feeling. And also supporting as many temples. There are so many, brahmanas who are actually at this stage, who are really struggling. I'm able to contribute whatever I'm able to connect with. There are many people who connect with education, with food, with health, and other things. So now I feel there's a reason to be ambitious, in doing business. There's no difference between material and spiritual here. It's for the bigger mission, for the bigger purpose, to serve my spiritual master, to serve serve the higher goal, and do whatever it takes to make it happen. And I've noticed that being outside the temple environment, because I've also been brought up in an environment where, I've seen people living in the temple, attending the programs, and when I'm able to contribute from outside towards these initiatives, it feels so much better than maybe being inside and taking from the temple or
Oh,
taking from the organization. It's
we're
it's
just we're
slightly
just trying
different.
to get Sid back. Just bear with us. We just make sure. Okay, you're back. You're back. Sorry, you made a very nice point just about contribution, Sid. We just want to start that again. Just about the contribution part, Sid. Sorry, just if you could just bring that point again about.
Yeah, no problem, no
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
I'm back. If it's clear now, I'll just repeat
Yeah,
that.
you're clear.
So
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So this whole thought process is how we can give to the organization, then take from the organization. What we are connecting with. So that really made a huge difference. Like, and not just the organization that we are connected with, but the same philosophy is for anyone in my community. I tell them, okay, whatever you make, give 10% towards charity. So you have a reason to wake up every morning, and there is something else. So besides you doing your business for creating that money, creating that system, and even in business is and money is just a certificate of appreciation of what work that you have done. So if you're able to really serve people, if you're able to add value, money is going to be the automatic byproduct of that. So so these were some of the ideas on business that really I was able to instill over the last few years, and that has actually helped me grow to such an extent. And again, it's all about the right mentors at the right time who give the right ideas. And in spite of the growth, always conscious that you know we need to always be grounded spiritually. We need to always understand where we're coming from. We need to understand that it's there's much more to this. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
There's one thing, like you said, about contributing money, which I found amazing about what you're doing, is that the chapters that you've got. So when I'm saying chapters, guys, I'm talking about groups of individuals that Sid has helped in their business. So they've got chapters. I'm talking about, sometimes you get 50 to 100 people attending these chapter meetings, I'm hearing, or more. And the idea is all these people that come into Sid's programs, they do one thing, and that is they give to charity. They give 10% of what they make. And I think you're like generating monthly over $100,000 going to different charities of each person's choice, which is phenomenal. It's just, so it's like the spiritual aspect of donation and helping individuals is instilled into your business, which is really nice to see. So hats off to you, because
thank you.
That shows why you're where your heart is and what your real principle. Like you said, it's about the golden age. So your spiritual master, your spiritual teachers, your mentors, and this aspect of Krishna consciousness, which you're part of, has been very, very key in your, should we say, your core, is what you're saying. So can I ask the question?
Yes.
Like at the moment, so you have, at the moment you're known as Siddart as well, but also in the spiritual side, you have another name, right?
Yes.
So what's your name? It's Shabda. What's your name? I know his name. It's Shabda Hari. So this name, how comes that you have? Because we have people on right now that are yoga teachers, etc., and they're learning about spirituality. But how comes you've had this also another name given to you? How does that work? And just a bit about the background of that, please.
Yeah, sure. So I got this name in 2006 by my spiritual master, and this was in a place called Mayapur, which is an amazing place. You'll need to travel there sometime. It's just, the name is given. It's like a second birth. When you surrender to a master, and when they give you the initiation, it's like you are literally being born once again, and they are going to take care of you from that moment on. And if you look at any traditions, even if you look at Christianity, they have this baptism. They've got, many cultures have this confirmation and things like that. So I got initiated in 2006, and I surrendered to my spiritual master, and he gave me this name, and he knew I was a sound engineer, so probably Shabda Hari. He gave me the name there, and he said, "You've got to be the servant of the sound incarnation of the Lord." Okay, wow. So that is the meaning of the name. So ever since I've just that's always been my core. Whatever I try to do in whatever medium of sound can I please him and take things forward. That's what's been the focus. Yeah.
Wow, Shabda Hari. So that's amazing name. So you said about your initiation happened in Mayapur. Mine happened as well in Mayapur 3 years later. So nice. It's we got a few things in common. I'm just hearing music in spiritual teacher. So now I want to come on to this specific business that you're doing, and for those that want to know more about how you and Sid is trying to do one thing. You're trying to help how many thousand people to try and make their digital space? How many did you say you're trying to help? What's your goal on that?
The goal is 1 million. I want to help 1 million people become digital teachers, digital leaders. Yes.
So 1 million people become digital leaders, because he knows that this is actually the way forward. This is the way to do it. So if you want to connect with this, there's a few ways. You can go to his website, which is SiddartRajsekar.com, or there's a better way, and he'll contact you, and that's to email him or contact him with the one what we said was Ask Sids. So AskSidz.com. And if you do that, then you can straight away be connected, and automatically you'll be registered to be in contact with him. But there's another thing. You've got a challenge going on right now that you wanted everyone to try. What can you tell us a bit about that and why that should be happening right now?
Yeah, it's a 21-day challenge, and I actually set up this challenge on my Facebook Messenger to help people break out through their limiting beliefs when it comes to them getting online. So I teach people how to record videos, how to grow their influence in 21 days. It's called the Digital Tribe Challenge. So if you go to asksids.com and type DTC, you'll get 21 days of videos from me, and I'll guide you exactly what to do if you want to build your own online community around your topic. Yes.
Wow. So there we go. So just go to asksids.com/DTC and it'll come to you. Is that the way?
No,
So
they go to asksids.com, and then in the messenger they just type
in the
DTC.
messenger.
Yeah.
Okay. So there we go. And I'm also getting some people that's been messaging here. I just want to just shout out a few, if that's okay. We've got one person, and it's quite interesting. A binary pianist says, "I'm a patron of Buddha, and Siddart, aka Sids, is a mentor. What are the odds?" So even though you have this spiritual aspect of Krishna consciousness, which is what your belief part is, it doesn't mean that it's just solely for anyone. It's for everybody. Anybody from any walks of life can join these programs, and he's trying to be a servant to humanity and trying to take him further. So it's nice how you got a mixed array of individuals coming to you. So Pooja's got a very nice question. Pooja Prabhu, she says, "Do you spend fixed amount of time for spirituality daily?"
Yeah, the answer is yes. So morning I do my japa, and we chant on beads, and we chant the names of God. There are so many different forms of meditation, and this is something which I've been practicing for many years, and listening to the sound vibration, and that's what creates the impact. Yes. So it's
Fantastic.
fixed 90 minutes to 2 hours a day. That's the time.
Wow.
That we spend.
So that is what gives you your grounding. It's what gives you your foundation. Is there a specific time that you like? I want to just understand what is Sid's day like. So what time are you usually up doing this, and how does your day span out, if that's okay?
Yes. So since it's business, I do webinars sometimes late in the night. So every day is not fixed, but the days that I sleep early, I love to wake up. I love the mornings time. 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. is the best time for me if I have to do anything. But if it goes late, like some days I also work in like 3 a.m. I go late into night if I'm working on building any systems. And then it's like in the evenings, I do my ritual, my spiritual practices towards the evening. But overall, my day is structured in a way by which the morning segment is usually a lot of learning. I like to tune into courses, videos. I like to develop new content materials. I like to record videos before like 12, before noon. And I don't have too many meetings like before, because now I'm just focusing on products, and I'm focusing on building products. I'm not delivering a service to anyone like it's not an agency anymore. So it's a product-based business. So I keep most of my meetings only with my teams at around 1, 2 p.m. And most of the day is free. And the evenings is when I do webinars. So after 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time, after 8, 9 p.m., I do my webinars. I have my inner circle calls with my community. Usually when everyone is back from work, that's the time that I do my sessions with them. So that's pretty much the day. And it's like all day my brain is always working. It's there's not like a break time. But when you're in business, when you really love what you're doing, you're always thinking about new ideas all the time. So I'm always learning, taking notes, and sometimes spending time. Not sometimes, a lot of time spend time with the kids. I have 2 boys.
Yes.
Drive out of town whenever we feel like, and we do a bit of gaming as well. I love to play games on PS4 and stuff. So that's one more way to express. Yeah.
So what's really nice is that we're talking about quality of life here. So sometimes quality of life is 9 to 5, I get a job, Monday to Friday, relax in the evenings. But here you're actually turning on its head, where you're spending some of the day with work, but then you're spending focused time with family. And I think that's something great, because that means you've got your spirituality, you've got your business, but then you've also looking after the family as well. So thank you for sharing that. And somebody asked, Rakshit is asking, Siddart, are you from India? Yes, he is. He's in India right now, Delhi, if I'm correct. Is that right? That's where you're
Oh,
based,
I'm in
right?
Chennai. I'm in South
Chennai.
India.
God, why
Based in
did
Chennai.
I thought it was Delhi?
Yeah.
I don't know where I got Delhi from. So it's in South India, in Chennai, guys. So yeah, so get in contact with him. They'll be great to connect. I'm sure there. So I'm looking at the time, and time has flown. We're 45 minutes gone, 15 minutes left. I did promise everybody that we've got the success formula, which I want to hear it from Sid, because he's the one that's come up with this. So, Sid, if I could hand over to you, and
Yeah.
please, if you can express this formula and take it away.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you like a success formula for how to build a business with spiritual grounding. So the formula it's very simple. First is you need to like pick whatever practice or whatever you believe in to keep yourself grounded spiritually. For example, in my case, is japa meditation, and whatever works for you, you start your day with that. That's the most important thing to feed your soul. So you start with that. And then it comes to the business angle, like how do you keep your mindset strong? Because it's all about mindset. Business is all about having a strong mindset to make those decisions on a daily basis for you to move forward. And to keep the mindset strong, uh, I follow a few practices. So one is I have a notebook where I write my goals every day, and 2 pages of goals. Each page has at least 10 goals, and very specific goals, like what kind of a life do I want to lead, like where do I want to live, and things like which encompasses all the dimensions of your life, your spiritual side, your health side, your family side, your career,
Hmm.
everything, health, wealth, relationships, everything should be covered in those goals and make it very specific. So the first thing I do is I write my goals every day. The
Okay.
second thing is I have a goal card where I look at my goal on a daily basis. This is more of a business goal. So I know exactly how much money I want to make from a business perspective. And let me see if I can pull it out over here. It's there in my wallet here.
Is it gold card or gold card? I
It's
just
it's GOAL. It's a goal
okay,
card.
gold card. I
Yeah.
love
So
it.
I've handwritten a goal, and I look at this every day. It's a very specific. It's a like a number goal. Like I want to make $1 million a month. It's like that kind of a goal, and there's a reason. So even the words that you use when you're writing a goal is very important. So the words I use is I earn 1 million per month consistently on total autopilot, doing what I love, helping millions of people live a happy, prosperous, and spiritual lifestyle. And I promote the golden age. So I've also mentioned that. So there's a reason why you need to make that money. Otherwise, there won't be a connect with it. So I look at the goal card on a daily basis. So I write goals. I'll read the goal card. And then I listen to this audio by Earl Nightingale. It's a very old 1956 audio called The Strangest Secret in the World. And I read that, I listen to that for 30 minutes a day just to keep my mind very positive and strong. When it comes to being focused on achieving things on the business side, because what ends up happening is when you don't have the right energy, you know you get to fall back on the things that you really have to do or the most important. And even in our spiritual practice, we know like who we associate with matters the most. And even in business, it's the same thing. Like who are you getting information from? That also depends a lot on what decisions that you're going to be making. So I tune into a lot of audiobooks also. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. In fact, if there's once I complete the formula, I'll give you all a book recommendation, which is phenomenal when it
Perfect.
comes to the spiritual and business side. But yeah, so writing goals, reading the goal card, and you know what's the other thing? Listening to the Stranger's Secret every day. So that really gives sets the priority very well. And the book recommendation that I have is this book, which is written by a Jewish priest, Rabbi Daniel Lapin. It's called "Thou Shalt Prosper." It's a wonderful book, and where he's actually analyzed the world from a point of when the Jews, they used to really be one of the biggest business owners back in the day, like many thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
And he's brought in all the spiritual principles of business in that book. It is really amazing. It's a long read. It can be controversial, but I think I could really connect with it because it had a spiritual inclination to business, and business, why it is a noble activity. If somebody is doing it with the right intentions and the right reasons, it can become a spiritual activity. So I mean, some of these elements I was able to connect in that book. So yeah, that's
Wow.
my success formula. Thank you for asking.
No, so guys, writing goals is key. This is the first thing I took away. We need to have a goal card. Write your goals down. Be specific. If you notice on Sid's, it was very specific. It's measurable. So it's smart. That's one thing I picked up. It was very smart, specific, measurable, attainable. The R&T's gone out my head. You probably know better than me. But
It
smart.
has gone over my head. Yes.
But the smart style, make it specific so you can see how you're doing. Another thing is to listen to Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret in the World, and hear it a few times, and then listen to audiobooks. This is very important. You talked about the rabbi, the Jewish rabbi, Thou Shalt Prosper is the one to check out. So thank you. It's nice to see. It's very refreshing to see someone saying, you know what, I've done this, I've made this, I'm walking the path, and I want to take you along with me. How often do we see individuals in this material world doing that? We don't. And it shows to me that it's to do with your spiritual background and how that spirituality has helped give that compassionate nature in you. So I just want to thank you as well for sharing these type of tips with us. It's so important. And guys, if you have been touched by Sid's story, by what they're talking about, what we were talking about, then please check him out. I've pinned on Instagram, you'll see asksids.com. So go to there, check it out. And I've just seen some comments coming through. This is a very nice one. Veena Wag said, Hare Krishna always lives in my heart. Radhe Radhe. If we earn more money than we can, then that means we can serve society better. Thank you. I've got another person saying, Ami says, this is an enlightening conversation. What a success formula. Thank you. So thank you, Sid, for sharing that. Kshatriya, I like that name. Ankit Kshatriya says, Sid is just awesome. He is just changing the approach on how people operate their system. Thank you.
Thank you.
So today has been really enlivening for me. So I thank you for your time. And I'm looking to see if there's some questions. I think most of it you've answered. So it's really nice. And I just want to leave everyone now just to, on a final note, is that anything that you have found from this session that you feel, you know what, that's touched me, contact Sid. Just go to his @sids.com, and also his website is there as well, Siddart Rajsekar. So SIDDHARTHRAJSEKAR.com. So you check him out there. You'll know you've landed to the right page because there'll be a picture of him on it straight away. So this is the brand. So check that out. And also, if you want, he's on Facebook and Instagram at Siddart Rajsekar there. So it's Rajsekar. I put Radha into it. I was thinking the Supreme Radha at that point. So check this out. One thing I want to just say is that it's been, this journey, what you talked about. Sometimes I used to see business and spirituality as two separate things. Work and spiritual as two separate. Today, you've shown that actually the two can work hand in hand. It's about us as an individual and how we take these tools, these mindsets to take us to another way. So thank you from my side. And I hope maybe we can connect again in the future on this and another topic, and see how some people that have come from these sessions are coming on to your lovely the challenges you've done. So remember DTC, which is the challenge that he's setting, the 21-day challenge, where you can actually increase your web presence, how you do it, make a brand. So that's a 21-day challenge. Just go to asksids.com. I will leave it at that. And next week, please stay tuned as well, because I'll be having some other speakers on this type of line of spirituality and the things going on right now coming on. And just check it out on my Instagram page. So if you like what you're hearing, and it's just Jagannath_Dasa, and you can connect with me that way. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments. This will be on IGTV. In the next probably 30 minutes, we'll get this out onto IGTV. share it, comment, and I want you to put a comment of what you found that really struck you of today's conversation. That's what I want. I know in Sid, when you do a talk, it's so great. You'll say, so tell me how did this great thing happen? Type in great. I love it. I love your style. So here I'm going to say, I want you to comment something that really took you. So don't just put wow. I want you to put what it was that you're going to take away from this to help evolve your life and bring your consciousness to another level. That is what this is about. It's about your spiritual momentum going flying high. So thank you, Sid.
Thank you so much.
And I really look forward to connecting again with you at some point. So all I got left to say is Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And,
Thank you so
and
much.
take care. Bye-bye.